Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Strege, and here I have another double feature review for director Dakota Bailey, who is a director from Colorado that has his own perspective in the film community. And the first film that I wanted to talk about was filmed in 2017, and it is his third film with RA Productions, and it's called The Acid Sorcerer. Now, he's come to make a name for himself by creating these short films around some characters, and the first I'm going to tell you the name of this film. This film is called The Acid Sorcerer, and at the time that I found out about this, he was campaigning for it on Indiegogo, and I contributed to it. I'm not sure if I was the first, but I was definitely going to contribute and help this filmmaker out, and this is what came out. Now you can definitely see that you have a similarity in the film cover, at least here. But in any case, let me get to the film itself. So, like I said, this is brought to us by RA Productions, director Dakota Bailey from Denver, Colorado. It is the third film in his dark world of his drug-infested societies. As he tried to make it a little darker, at least in feel. So the film begins with a character called Smoke, played by Dakota Bailey himself. And actually has an evil alter ego by the name of Leech. So we kind of have a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of a character who appears to be some kind of a hooded black specter that ends up speaking to him and basically controls him and what he does, and as he is unable to stop his actions. But like My Master Satan and American Scumbags, the Acid Sorcerer intertwines and connects a series of vinaigrette stories together. I noticed misspelling, and it was shot really well. He takes in a bit more of the surroundings of where he is filming and uses objects in a way to tell his story, like posters on the wall or things of this nature. Leech then tells Smoke to go kill a man for drugs and then piss on his corpse, and so he does. We should realize that under the influence of drugs, probably acid, Smoke is influenced by his evil self, probably his personal demon, Leech, as he cannot control the urge to kill. Next, we see that we have a man and his knocked up lady friend, Vermina, who that is a desperate enough kind of a man to sell his own pregnant girlfriend who loves to be on meth in order to get the drugs she needs, and yet is also jealous if she actually loves being fucked by another guy. Next, we are introduced to a cross-dressing serial killer snuff filmmaker by the name of Nikki. So not only do we have Smoke, we see rise to become a serial killer. We have another serial killer here, Nikki, who kills her victims as she films them, not far from being sleazy. Since she trades her snuff films for drugs in the end, always this connection with an addiction to whatever drug is on the street. So I'm wondering if in reality again, if there is a strong presence of drug dealing in the city of Denver, that might be the inspiration behind. And we see a little bit of what the character Nikki might be seeing on her drug trip. While Verbina's man discovers that his lady friend that he has knocked up is cheating on him behind his back to get the money for her drugs with her latest trick, Nikki enjoys the drug and disappears and appears to be hooked as she prepares for her next snuff film. On the other hand, Ecstasy, which is the name of a prostitute, has found out that she has HIV and gets contacted by Nikki as she ultimately drugs and murders this character that goes by the name of Ecstasy. The rest of the film somewhat shows of a retrospect of a thinking pattern, at least of Smoke. So it shows Smoke going through what looks like a funhouse of sorts, and then ends up at a church, the same church that Vermina's man ended up after he murdered his loved one. And it seems like both wanted retribution, but in this world there is no hope and there is no God, and there is only fucked up death and addiction. I have to give credit to Dakota for creating some of these characters and connecting some of them together. For there is an underline of a message throughout his films that these worlds of his are connected to a drug-controlled world, a world filled with prostitutes and street people, a constant struggle, the struggle to keep an addiction and to keep from killing, along with the birth of killers through bad habits. For some reason, I found this mind trip of a film entertaining. American Scumbag, which I believe has been his best film so far, and seeing the film again, I can see what he meant by being darker. For there are some darker elements. The other thing that I like is that it was filmed in black and white again, not like American Scumbags. I'm sorry to keep comparing, but it's kind of hard not to when one film came before another. If you enjoy films of this nature, then American Scumbags is actually Dakota's best film. I would put The Acid Sorcerer, this film, which I'll show you right now, again, as you can see. It was signed by him, by the way. So in the middle, and then I'd put My Master Satan on the bottom if I were to say from best to worst. And not that I'm trying to put them in any kind of category or order, but if I were to, that's the order that I would put them in. Each of his films is made up of several different stories within the same world. I do, however, suggest that you give his films a chance if you haven't. I enjoyed the films for what it was. So definitely check the film out. I think you can still find his films on Store Envy. So bear that in mind. Hopefully you enjoyed my description of this film. The second film that I wanted to talk about was one of his newest, which I hadn't really gotten to until earlier today. So this film is almost a direct sequel to American Scumbags because it's called The Rise and Fall of an American Scumbag, and it was also filmed in 2017. So here you go. Here's the cover. So you have several characters involved. We have Darian Fox playing Billy once again, who apparently in here is the narrator through part of the film as we follow him, and we hear him talk about a girlfriend that I think is Pat, who is a drug dealer, which I'll get to in a little bit. So apparently, we have Billy, who is he's apparently after his inheritance, which is evidently in his father's possession. And I think he's speaking about his girlfriend's uh, father as well. And he talks about killing him, killing his mother. So he then goes and pisses on it on her grave. So I think we see a revisited scene in here from American Scumbags, but kind of a twist on the story. And so also we have the character of Pat, who is evidently a kingpin in this world. So then we also have Dakota Bailey playing the character of Johnny once again, who, as previously, he has been addicted to drugs of his own nature, and he seems to be like the hitman in here, where he goes and offs people, so to speak. But also, you see him get pissed off at people that get in his way, and so on and so forth. The one thing I want to say about this film is there is some eye candy in here, with, I believe, the character that plays the girlfriend of Billy here, which we see a little bit of her, and we see that Fox goes and does some necrophilia in here. So there's that kind of a thing. Again, this is a film that has a fair amount of going through several different tales. We also have the wheeling veteran back again, and he is evidently somewhat in league with Johnny. And the thing that I like about Dakota Bailey throughout all of his films is he's got this really, really low voice. And being on an interview with him before, when I realized that he actually did have this really low voice, that was more or less a little bit more creepy. But I think that is his trademark, and I think that it works well with his films. This film was shot really well. You could tell that he used a better camera in here, and it was more of a green screen. So I don't want to say everything about this film. It was definitely shorter. At least that's what I thought. I thought it was short. So it moves along fairly well, and it's entertaining. So are the characters that are involved. The acting was definitely pretty good, at least to me. So, in any case, hopefully you've enjoyed my description of both of these films. The characters involved were Marla Wood as Candy, Alaskan Cinder as Pat, Darian Fox as Billy once again, LB as Wheeling Deals, who was that veteran that I talked about, and VB as Vito. So definitely check that film out. I believe you can still find Dakota Bailey's films on storenv.com. So definitely check those films out. Hopefully you enjoyed my description of both of these films. So check my other reviews out of his first two films. Check his films out, and check out some more of my cool reviews for me. And let me know down in the comments what you thought of the films. Definitely give him a shout out if you have actually viewed them. So in any case, hopefully enjoy these reviews wherever you are. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and thanks for watching ahead of time.